CIET NCERT presents audiobook Kriti, textbook of arts for grade 7.
Chapter 4 Story of India's Storytelling Traditions.
Page 46.
On the right side of the page is a QR code. When you scan the QR code, you will be able to get the additional sources of this chapter. Once upon a time, there was a girl, Kathanjali, who loved telling stories. She knew all the stories from ancient India to the most modern ones. She also created stories. She has been living for thousands of years. She has seen many kings and rulers, lived among the common people, and also travelled across the world. So, she remembers the stories she has read and lived through many of the stories. But she is always curious and in search of more interesting stories. Let us listen to her. On the left side, there is a mask showing emotions. On the right side is an image of a lady writing stories. You will learn. Point number 1. Folk forms of storytelling in India. Point number 2. Problem faced by the artists today. Point number 3. Well-known traditional storytellers. Page 47. On the left side of the page is an image of a girl. Namaste. Though I have travelled across the world, my favourite place has always been Bharat. No matter where I am, I prefer to come back here as it feels like home. It has the most beautiful stories. Do you know how it all started? Many years ago, when I was going to different places in Bharat, I realized that the people did not know the stories at all. They were missing the fun and the values they could learn. I had to find a way to tell them stories. Since I could not do it all by myself, I created storytellers. They were people who could remember and narrate stories in very interesting ways. This was fun. There were so many storytellers across the country telling different stories to everyone from small children to old people. This went on for hundreds of years. Around the 2nd century BCE, I noticed that the listeners sometimes got bored or distracted. So, I had to find something new to make it interesting. That is when I introduced pictures, music, dance, and puppets. Wow! This made storytelling a very different experience for people of all ages. I went to different parts of the country and created different ways of using pictures, music, and dance to tell the stories based on their traditions. Do you want to know about some of them? On the right is an image of a storyteller with some people. Page 48. Hari Kathe. During the 12th century, I was travelling in the southern part of Bharat. I visited a lot of beautiful temples and met kings who encouraged art and culture. But I realized that a lot of people were still unaware of the wonderful stories we have. I remembered Narad Muni, who went from one place to another narrating stories of Lord Vishnu. This would be a great way to tell stories here. I thought. So, I encouraged the Bhagavatar community to start telling stories through songs and dance. The people loved it as it was also interactive. Because they narrated the stories of Lord Hari, it came to be known as Hari Kathe. It became popular across Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. The storyteller was called Hari Kathe Dasa. Given is the image of a Hari Kathe Dasa. On the right, there is a rectangular box that reads Hari Kathe Guru Rajulu Naidu. This multilingual, multi-talented storyteller, Guru Rajulu Naidu, was born in 1931. His contributions to Hari Kathe gave him the title Karnataka Hari Kathe Pitamaha. While actual Hari Kathe performances were going on all night long, his style revolutionized Hari Kathe performance with a duration of 90 minutes, which was welcomed by the audience. His famous Hari Kathe performances include Bhakta Markande, Bhakta Sirayala, Mahiravana, Maya Bazar, Nalathanga Devi, Gajagauri Vrata, Shri Krishna Garuni, Lavakusha, and many more. He has also been an actor in movies like Muruvare Vajragalu, Hanale Chiguri Daga, Madhumalati, and many more. Page 49. Kavad Katha. This is a storytelling tradition that is 500 years old. When I realized that the common people were unable to read scriptures like the Ramayana, Mahabharata, Puranas, and other stories from our tradition, I asked the Bhatts, a craftsman community in Rajasthan, to create an interesting way of using pictures to tell stories. As pictures do not need language, anyone could understand them. So they travelled from village to village with the kavad, telling stories to people in their language. They also included songs in it. They also told stories from the Panchatantra and Hitupdesha for children. These days, they also tell modern stories that give valuable messages that are socially relevant, like educating girl children in villages and maintaining hygiene. This box of pictures is created with the wood of mango tree. According to the requirement of the story, the boxes have anywhere between 8 to 16 parts. The biggest cover made so far is 25 feet long. On the left is given the image of a kavad. On the right, there is a rectangular box which mentions Kavadiya Khojaramji. Khojaramji is from Kumardhani near Jodhpur, Rajasthan. He has been practicing Kavad Katha for more than 40 years now. He is among few surviving Kavadiyas. He says, earlier people believed in Gyan, Dan, Bhagwan. Everyone would gather under a tree to listen to Kavad Katha. Kavad, as the temple would come to them, and they would not just look at God but listen to the knowledge embedded in the stories of gods. Now, we go to the Jajman's house once a year. He, like other Kavadiyas, also maintains a book which also keeps the records of people living, dead, and newly born in the families of the neighborhood. Given is the picture of Kavadiya Khojaramji. There have been many storytellers in these forms who travelled across the country telling stories and keeping the art alive. Some have also travelled to different countries, showcasing the stories of our country and its traditions. Do you want to know about some of them?
Page 50.
Fud Paintings, Rajasthan. Stories of Puranas, kings, and battles they fought. Praise of local deities like Babuji and Devnarayan. Given is the image of a Fud painting. Thanga, Ladakh, Sikkim, Jammu, Kashmir, and Arunachal Pradesh. Stories from Buddhist scriptures, events in the lives of saints, and local folk stories. Given on the left side of the page is an image of Thanga. Though these were very popular, now they are slowly becoming rare. Young people are not learning this to take it forward. With everyone watching television and smartphones, there is no one to listen to their stories. If the storytellers are gone, the stories also go away with them. Don't you think it is important to keep these traditions alive and spread them across the world? Would you like it if your school textbooks were taught to you in such interesting ways? Let us try. Take any story from your English or social science textbook and try to narrate it with pictures. In fact, this will help you remember the lessons. On the right side of the page, there is a cylindrical shape which reads Circle Time. Point number 1. If you had to create a new form of storytelling, what are the things you would add? How would you make it more interesting? Point number 2. If you were in the government, list out 2 things you would do to save these art forms from dying out. Below is an image of a teacher with the students. Page number 51. Brain Booster. Become a storyteller. Point number 1. There are some pictures of traditional paintings. Point number 2. Connect them to form your own story. Make it as unique as possible. You can also change the order of the pictures. Point number 3. Think of a unique way of narrating it. You could speak every line in a sing-song tone or add some dance steps to describe situations or think of songs that suit the situation. Point number 4. You can even try using rhyming words to write your story. That will make it interesting to narrate. Point number 5. Present it in front of your class and share feedback. On the right side are some pictures of traditional paintings. Page number 52. Key takeaways. Lessons for life. Storytelling, a treasure in tradition. You might be wondering why we have to save these storytelling forms. These are oral traditions. Stories have been passed down through generations. Everyone in our country knows about the Ramayana and Mahabharata today because of these oral traditions. Even if a person cannot read or write, these stories can teach them values for life. The most important factor is that they keep our culture and traditions alive. While written books or computer data can be destroyed in seconds, these stories in oral tradition can never be destroyed. So, go ahead and learn a storytelling style and carry the tradition forward. There are 3 images of the storytelling traditions of Bharat given here. Page 53. Assessment. Chapter 4. Story of India's Storytelling Traditions. Given is a rectangular box with 5 columns. Column number 1, CG. Column number 2, C. Column number 3, Learning Outcomes. Column number 4, Teacher. Column number 5, Self. CG4, C4.1, Learning Outcomes, understands storytelling as a performing art that integrates music, dance, and art. CG4, C4.1, Learning Outcomes, attempts to think of initiatives to protect and grow the dying art forms. CG4, C4.2, Learning Outcomes, identifies storytellers from one's own experience and describes their style of performance. CG4, C4.2, Learning Outcomes, compares contemporary storytelling with older formats. Teachers' comments and students' observations. Fill in the blanks. Page 54. Summative assessment. Given is a rectangular table with 3 columns. Column number 1, column number 2, activity for assessment, example. Column number 3, criteria for assessment. Column number 1, individual. Under activity for assessment, example. Point number 1, pick any emotion and list out 3 or 4 levels of intensity. Point number 2, build all of it into one story. Can include other emotions. Point number 3, write a script that includes scenes and dialogues. Point number 4, narrate the script in a dramatic way by including music, dance, or pictures. Under column criteria for assessment. Point number 1, command over combining multiple techniques and skills. Point number 2, creativity and clarity in thought. Column number 1, group. Column number 2, activity for assessment, example. Point number 5, pick a story from social science or English textbook. Point number 6, write a script by creating characters and dividing it into scenes. Point number 7, perform a 3-minute pantomime show. Column number 3, criteria for assessment. Point number 3, decision making in teams. Point number 4, including multiple ideas of team members. Point number 5, creativity, collaboration, and cooperation. Page 55. Teachers' comments and students' observations. Fill in the blanks. Given is an image from the epic Ramayana. Doodles and notes. End of chapter 4.
Kriti, you were just listening to this audiobook, Textbook of Arts for Grade 7. Narration Richa Jain. Sound recordist Muhammad Faizan Khan. Assistance in production Soumya Malik. Directed and produced by Vimlesh Chaudhary. This audiobook is brought to you by CIET NCERT, New Delhi, India.